Welcome to the Unity Roundtable. We are here to continue the conversation once a week, every week, which is promised. And I think we have been true to that since we started operation as a team, as Team Unity Dominica. And I'm hosting today's program, which you will of course see sometime later on if you're not actually live. And with me is Carlos Charles, usual suspect. And we're going to look at an aspect of our party's plan. TUD contested the last election in Dominica last year, and we were the only party of all the parties in Dominica, including the reigning majority party, to have produced a manifesto. So we're going to deal in this first part of our look at the economic recovery plan that we had for our country, and Carlos is going to help me with that discussion. So, Brother Carlos, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Professor Bruno.
Sakavet, man, you look like you are ready, man.
You
must relax a little, even if you are the leader, but at least sometimes, like I'm kind of relaxed today, and you're wearing jacket.
Yeah, I normally relax. I try and keep it normal. But today is serious business, brother.
Today is serious for me too. I have like a jeans thing on me, and you come in with jacket on me, when you should have to tell me, man.
Serious business, my brother. Serious business. Let me put my blazer on.
No problem, man. No problem. Yes, as I was saying at the opening, we took part in the election, Carlos. We are the only party with a manifesto. No other party in Dominica presented a plan for the progress of our people. The only part, and history will have it as that. And we also contested. Well, we didn't contest, we participated in the election. And the difference is we put some people on the ballot randomly in places where we just wanted to put people, just so that we participate. Because there was a big hue and cry about people not contesting for reasons, and we didn't think that those reasons stood as reasons why people should not contest. We said, in the interest of our country's democracy, we have to contest. We have to participate, sorry. So we participated, not contested, because we never had any campaign. We never had money going out there and promoting, taking ads out. No, we didn't do any of that. We just participated so that we register our interest in our people. Even against all odds, we wanted to represent our people. And guess what, Carlos? Over 100 Dominicans. Guys, I can never stop saying that, Carlos, and thanking them. Over 100 Dominicans said, okay, I'm going to vote for that party without campaigning. Carlos, that's significant,
No rallies.
What rally that? No, not a cent we paid for, nothing, no bus, no nothing. We just put 2 months we were formed. After our formation, within 2 months, elections called snap election. We had to step up and participate because it was always our pledge to participate. So a snap election is going to cause us not to participate. And Carlos, before you come in,
question, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Do you think our formation had something to do with the calling of a snap election?
But of course. So Carlos, but you're joking, man. Carlos, there was a by-election in Granby in the lion's mouth of Labour. And a candidate who is very well qualified, very established, a diplomat, was running to fill the seat of Edridge's deceased. And we all knew that that person was going to win. It would have taken a miracle for that person not to win. Did you see the kind of campaign that party ran up there? I'm telling you.
Very aggressive campaign.
Ground game, walk, everything all out.
Very aggressive. I mean, I was in Grand Bay for a few times, and a lot of the other times I pay close attention to it and via the various mediums, media, the regular media, social media, my ears on the ground, and so on, and even me being on the ground personally. And yes, it was a very keenly contested.
Unrelenting, no holding back campaign. That is how that side do the business of electioneering. So yes, our formation had a lot to do because the people want what we are. They
And
want that new burst of excitement. And if that was allowed 2 3 years to grip Carlos, you mad or what? He
they
was the
knew that.
he was,
I think the people in the government are aware of that. The same way we have that access to that information, they do.
but the people, but we know that. I cannot say what I know, everything that I know, but we know that they know what the people are saying, and they know we are what the people are saying. They don't take us for granted like some who pretend they do, they don't. They all know that. So I think it was very clever, very brave, calculated on the part of the prime minister to call the election. And some people say, whatever they say, they say. But boss, when you're in this thing, and you do what you have to do for your political survival, he felt that's the last straw he could pull. So he pulled it. And if we were contesting, we would have said every reason why we think the people should not elect him, but we didn't contest. We just participated. And some would have you believe that we went there after how many years of well-oiled machinery and we failed. We didn't fail. Carlos, we had 100 Dominicans with my brother who decided I'm voting for TUD. Man, that's wind beneath our wings. And on top of that,
That is significant.
but how you mean now? We were the only party with a manifesto, my brother. The party so didn't take people seriously, the Labour Party, or whatever Labour Party, not the party that's in office. That they didn't even do a manifesto. But the campaign, though, they knew how to do the campaign. But in terms of a plan for the people, nothing written, nothing offered. We have it. So we are going to spend a lot of time speaking about our plans. Yes, there are issues in Dominica, but those issues cannot be addressed until we win. Some can be addressed. We can speak about some. But spending time speaking about the issues is not going to get you to win. So we will speak about it, but we'll also show the people our plan and have them trust us so that when we win, we fix the issues. You have to do different things at the same time. And that is what TUD is about. We're not going to just talk about the ills and the ills and the ills and the ills and the ills. We'll talk about it when we choose to, but we'll give the people what we plan to do to solve the problems of Dominica. So that is our agenda, and that's our program. That's what we're going to do today, talk about some of the economic recovery plans that we presented in our manifesto, and we're going to share it on the screen to show you, and we're going to hopefully join you in a conversation with that program, that economic recovery plan. Hey, it appears, Carlos, you are producing for me there, man. I thought you beat me to it, boy. Here we go. It is taken from TUD's manifesto. Job number 1. And it's there for all to read and see, And Carlos, you can help me as well. And I'll add content to it because in fact I'm hosting, you're not supposed to be on.
I need to get my. Yes, I'm there. Hold on a second.
See, man, don't have his glasses. Nobody, you need your glasses to read. Put on your glasses. You're not like me. You're not like me. I can't understand how a young man like you need glasses, and I don't need glasses. Let me put my glasses on. I'm messing up Carlos, man. Right. So this is what we do in Team Unity Dominica. And for those of you who are tuned in now, who might be, saying, "Why? Should I be part of this movement?" I'm hearing people say that they lose their deposit. Let people say that. We didn't contest, we participated because it was necessary for our democracy. And we respect all parties and the decision that they make, but people should respect our decision as well. Not call us enemies because we are not. We are a progressive team that mean well for people. And one of the things that we presented in our manifesto, full color, professionally designed and printed in Dominica. In Dominica. Paid our money in Dominica to do it, the little money we had.
All local talent, all local production.
Local design, local everything. Only a unity government can resolve the issues of our country. And then job number one, TUD's urgent national economy transformation agenda, UNETA. And Brother Carlos, you can present for those people who do not choose to read the first few items that's on that list that we said we would do, my brother. We will never get to do everything today, but we can start by reading one or two and we can break down for the people to let them know where our mind is when it comes to Dominica's economy.
Well, first of all, the UNETA revolves, if you can see, it revolves around the theme, youth turning the page to success. You see, Dominica, moving forward, a lot of things have to be driven by the young people. We cannot wait for those who have been there. I mean, things have been going for a many years at one stage, and we want things to change. We want things to be presented in a different manner. We the young people, we know what we want our country to be like. We know what we want the world to be. We just need to be guided.
Yes. We cannot just let the youth do it.
So as part of
well,
yeah. I mean, you can't just leave us to our own devices naturally, but
we have to
our
support
youthful,
the youth and
our youthful energy, or we know what we want, but it will be good if you guide them, not just leave us to our own to do everything. But you see, the older ones who have been ahead have more experience in terms of living life. But we come with a new idea, new energy. So now, if that is taken on board with your previous experience, you know, okay, yeah, I'm accustomed of carrying the fig from the farm on a donkey. But a younger child is telling you, Daddy, you don't need the donkey again. Right now, fellas don't have to carry banana from the field to the road. You can build a dolly system. Put the boxes on it and let it and just run that to the road. You need less people. You need less people to do it.
And talking about that, we're going back to bananas. That thing about people not planting bananas in Dominica again because market. We will talk about the market here, and in fact, when you get to that point, we'll talk
Alex,
about
Alex, it is there as a first point. $3 billion pledge to agriculture to kickstart the new economy. That is the first point. So the highlight of everything.
Yeah. So we would pledge $3 billion. I'm not too sure how much is being pledged for the airport now. Under a team unity Dominica, the construction of an airport would not be our priority. It is necessary. Probably we would eventually do it. But to make that the priority thing that is going to take us out from where we are right now, we are not sure that's what we would do first.
In my opinion, in my humble opinion, Dominica needs access to be created, access to international markets, but I'm not certain that the building of an airport right now would do that. More emphasis should be placed on the markets, the marketing, the airlines,
logistics.
Right. Because right now we cannot. It's hard to get to Grenada, for example.
That is the point. Intra-regional travel will not be bolstered with a construction of Dominica's international airport. To fly to Antigua right now is over $1,000. I have family who flew recently. And I remember flying to Antigua the morning and come back in the afternoon for $130. If you go for a weekend, 260. Just the other day. Regularly, if you go for a year, you have an open ticket, $400, $300. Right now, for a week is $1,000+. And you would pay half for a child under 12. Right now, the child under 12 pays almost the same thing as the adult. So we could fly to Dominica, Antigua, come back, fly to Grenada, come back. There was connection among the countries. Right now, every Caribbean country wants to have its own airport. And that takes us away. It is easier for me to fly from Dominica to Miami or Miami to Antigua or Miami to Dominica now than to fly from Dominica to Antigua. So
sad but true.
Yeah, so the airport is not going to solve our problem. Yes, if we can do it, we'll do it. We're not against it. But our focus would be, you see the agricultural land they're grading up now to put concrete for an airport. We would put money into those agricultural lands and put it in the hands of the farmers, let the people enjoy. So the $3 billion investment would not be in concrete and runways, at least not in our first term. It would be in opportunities for our people so that they can fend for themselves and get ready for when the demand opens up. Maybe in our second term, we would say, okay, here we go. Now that we have people situated, international airport, increase port facilities, maybe open up the port in Marigot to make it a real container port or a produce port that connects St. John's, Antigua, and Marigot, Dominica, because it is closer and easier, Carlos, to fly from Marigot to Antigua than to drive from Marigot to Roseau. In fact, you could go to Antigua and come back from Marigot before you reach Roseau driving from Marigot, according to how you drive. You see what I'm saying, Carlos? You can make a round trip to Antigua and back.
I was about to ask you, who's driving?
Well, Zayo or Easy, them fellas, them man wasn't driving fast, you know. Them man was driving, safe. But you get my point. So we would do those things, create the environment for people to make money on agriculture, farming. We create access to ports and shipping and market.
Tell you, the opportunities are there. There are persons that I know of internationally, and things such as fish, for example, and even our what the farine that our Kalinago people produce. That farine is equivalent to flour, in certain markets.
But it's more expensive than flour.
Correct. And there are persons just like persons who can take the dairy products and they develop the almond milk as a replacement for it. The persons cannot take the regular flour, and the farine products can be used as an adequate replacement for the flour.
But not just farine flour, as the cassava flour, brother. You can make Tanya flour, as well, Have you ever had Tanya flour, my brother?
No, I haven't.
True, man, Carlos, man.
I have Tanya's regular Tanya as part of my food. I have Tanya as part of a Tanya salad, that kind of thing.
My grandmother used to make flour out of Tanya. And man, in a porridge, in a pap, you licking the spoon. So you could create those high-end products. That's what we are putting the money in agriculture for. And agro-processing, you'll get to that in a little while in terms of our plan. So that is where our first term in office, that's where our focus would be, man. Let Dominicans make money. Give Dominicans an opportunity, because agriculture will never grow still. When you go to the supermarket in America and anywhere, you will find bananas. Bananas is not a has-been industry, as one of our government prime minister said some time ago. Bananas is one of the most widely consumed fruit on earth. And there is opportunities for bananas to be sold everywhere around us, close to us, far from us. So we have kind of dropped the ball, and we would invest, we would pledge in the first term $3 billion+ for the revamp to regreen Dominica's economy. Yes, we may still continue to do our little economic programs as America has in terms of economic programs that bring citizens into Dominica, but it cannot be, Carlos. How could all our the major part of our revenue be based on citizenship? So this is where that's where the money would be spent on the first term's budget to revamp. And Carlos, probably you can speak about a few of the things in the smaller print because you're younger than me, you have better eyes than me.
No, I must use my help.
Oh,
Anyway, the
I thought you were younger than me and you have good eyes.
eyes and deficiency is not based on age.
Okay.
But the first thing that we spoke about was to completely resurface 100% of Dominica's feeder roads.
100%.
Not some and leave out some because they didn't support us.
All. So feeder roads in Salisbury,
Marigot, La Plaine,
Wesley,
Cassibruce,
Cassibruce, the Kalinago territory, the entire belt, agricultural belt.
Bells,
Roseau Valley area, just name it. We would pave and improve 100% of those roads. And people have access, they have roads, people will produce. Carlos, 100% of the roads would get attention.
I can tell you, I remember my grandmother having her farm, and well, it has now been taken over by my dad. And my first car, Alex, was a little sports car, Toyota Celica, and that Toyota Celica was able to drive right on to my grandmother's farm in the heights of Marigot.
But you're telling me then? I'm happy you say that.
Right now, it's a struggle to use a four-wheel drive. I tried using my truck the other day to drive up there and to bring up some load for my dad, and had to leave it down halfway. Or one of those guys with a Land Rover or something when they pass it to bring it up the rest of the way for him. The road is so bad.
That's what you call neglect. Years of neglect. And we would pay emphasis on that, spend a lot of money, because food is crucial. You cannot not eat. And you cannot depend on the container coming in from Florida all the time to eat. I mean, yes, we can import certain things, but why import certain things that we can produce in Dominica? Why? Okay, you can import some, but not so much of it. So our emphasis would be on production in the agricultural sector. And the first operation would be to create the opening to the farms, roads. 100% of farm roads would be fixed, procured, maintained by Team Unity in government. Carlos, what's the next one?
Fully contained homes for our farmers on their farms if required.
Carlos, explain that. I think you're better than me explaining that, because explain that.
I know, for example, my dad being a farmer, a lot of the farmers, they want to stay on their farm as much as possible. So you up there, you finish work, well, Lambi stopping work sometimes after 7 in the night.
Yes.
And to leave Marigot, for example, and come down to Kinfield 7, 8 o'clock. You know, when they come from the farm, they have to stop they have to stop in a village and visit
Socialize a
some.
little. Socialize a
Huh?
little. Yeah. Socialize a
Right.
little. Mhm.
By the time you get home at 10 o'clock, how you going to get up 5 o'clock next day to go back on the farm? So to empower our farmers and make things a little more help them to be more self-sufficient. You help them to live on the farm. So you help them to have a home on the farm, not just a farm shed.
Ah, Carlos,
A
boy, you are
home.
bright fella. So that is our plan. Ask me for our plan, we will. And Carlos, one of the things they try to do too, they try to tell you too, to let Alex come off the program. Oh, don't let what's wrong with Alex? Because
No,
Alex, get somebody really. I did it once where we had programs and I tried to stay back so people could do it and it fell through. It's not this time. We are pushing our programs. Anybody who has ears to see, they'll see. I mean, ears to hear, they'll hear. Eyes to see, they'll see. These are not pie in the sky programs. These are straightforward programs. We are saying that we would create the opportunity for farmers to have homes. If you have a house in Marigot and you don't want another house, fine. If you want it, you'll get it. Through soft loans, not free money. You will get the money on the strength of your production on the land. And you will get duty free on everything you need for that house, your second house or your first house, on your farm, with your satellite, so you can get your TV, with your tanks, so you can get your water, with air condition if you want, because you will have solar energy, you can have reduced power, fully contained, foolproof houses, not sheds, as Carlos said, because I remember in my grandfather days, we had a little shed, and that's why he used to go and take his little sleep. He and Shasha and them take their little sleep in the shed. We would give you a house, you have your little bathroom, you can spend the whole 3 days on the farm and then come down for the weekend, and your family can be up with you on the farm for a day or two if you want to. That is the level at which we want to treat our farmers. Give them luxuries so that they can produce, because that's what farmers or other places do. And people who go out on fishing, we talk about fishing in a while as well. This thing about these small boats going out there, we will create opportunities for people to go fish with bigger boats and they can stay 3, 4 days out there. When they come in, they can
but
sell a lot of fish to
Alex,
Dominica and to the other places.
Alex, while you're on the topic of fishing, I can tell you there are persons who have called me and asked me, boy, Carlos, boy, how can I get fish from Dominica today and land in New York today? How can I do that? Because the tuna oil you have in Dominica there, and all they complain about the price. You know how much for that in New York? But big money for that in the restaurant up there.
And we can supply. If we have, and our plan is to get not just one, but at least 3 or 4 trawlers, make it available to the fishing zones, have farmers become part of those fishing cooperatives so that they can operate those trawlers on a rotation basis. And all the money made from those trawlers would go into the corporation to pay farmers very healthily too, with insurance to go with it as well. Farmers would still do the outboard motor as spot fishing on their time when they're not on the trawler, so they can make additional money doing that. So we're not discontinuing outboard motors. We're
No,
just
I mean,
providing cooperative trawlers operated by captains and a crew. So when you go out there, you out there fishing for a week. When you come back, you have maybe maybe a ton of fish, and that's where you can at least clean and ship fish to New York. Maybe every day in the week for 5 days, every day for. Can you imagine how much money foreign exchange you're going to make on that? So that is our plan, Carlos, and they
not,
can take
not,
it if they want to.
not just that, Alex. You have a trawler outside steady, and those little boats going out back and forth, delivering
And
supplies,
supplies.
bringing back catch, and now you're part of the cooperative. The cooperative benefits, everybody wins. And now you make you do volume, you supply the various market, the local market, the foreign market, you bring in foreign exchange into the country, everybody wins.
and the price for fish goes down because you have more supply, the demand is lower. So
What?
fish would not be $15 anymore. It would be like $7 a pound of fish. You know, so that's our plan. And we deviate a bit from the agriculture. We talk about the house, Carlos, but that's our plan for fishing. We have a very elaborate plan to revamp Dominica's economy. And again, Carlos, we have to keep inviting people to join us to be part of the discussion. Not You don't have to come on radio like we are doing now on media, because some people are with us, they're not on media now. But be part of the internal workings of our plan so that when we float it tomorrow, you would know that you played a part in rescuing Dominica. So that is fishing in a nutshell. We'll come back to fishing in a while, but Carlos, let's stay in agriculture still. So we talk about the house.
Fishing is part of agriculture, you know.
It is, but let's talk about, okay, let's talk about farming. We talk about roads. I don't have to lose our focus, my brother. Fishing is another page.
The next item on our agenda is the Family Trust and Logistics Program to fund housing.
Yeah, that is an initiative that we're putting in place to allow and to offer people assistance through a government-established trust for people to be able to finance their housing based on their own design, their own style, their own taste. We will not be building cooperative housing or apartment housing or
apartment style
housing, which is not suited for Dominica's sort of levity and culture and topography. Yeah? You can have apartments, maybe in the city area, whatever, but to just have apartments in all rural areas the way our government is doing, I'm not sure that the plan. If the plan is to win an election by getting people, giving them apartments so they can vote for you, fine. But if you have a long-term benefit for Dominica as a nation, unique in its own self, you would know that these apartments that are being built all over the place, as beautiful as they look now, 10, 15, 20 years from now. In fact, we have apartments in Dominica right now. I will not call the area. If you go there now, it's a ghetto. It's a cesspool for corruption and stuff like that. And if you understand the project life in America and how those projects were developed, that's pretty much how they developed. In the name of low-cost housing for people, and those houses were not maintained. There was no sustained program to maintain those apartments, and things fall through. We don't want that for Dominica. So we would initiate a program to maintain the present stock of apartment houses. We will not destroy them, and people who own them will remain in them. But our focus would be to allow Dominicans to build houses that they want with their own builders, not our builders that we choose as government. Most times in the present situation, it's foreigners that mainly building and foreign investment and whatever they call it. I don't even want to get too much into that. But we would let you choose your own builder, get your own money, do your own design, get your own paint color, build a house for your family for the rest of your family's life, not an apartment. Those units that are already established, they would stay in the hands of those people who have them, or purge people out of them and let younger people, younger families occupy them until those younger families want to go into their own self-contained units, and those apartments would remain as beginners for people who are getting into the housing thing. So we're not criticizing government housing. We understand government had a different plan from us, but our plan would not be to continue building apartment type buildings. So that trust would give people the ability to borrow money at a very low rate. No free housing. Free housing will be given for people who really need the help. And it wouldn't be free. It will be some subsidized housing. But this thing of, I will get an apartment, I will give you that. We do not promote that free gun business, because nothing under the earth is free. So I want people to understand that very clearly. We're not against people benefiting, but that mentality of me, mokebazo, we will not tolerate that. So that's where the housing trust comes in, Carlos, in keeping with that in mind.
Alex, you have to say that on the strength of letting people know that it's not a thing that you don't want to give people anything, but the fact that our government would be empowering the economy, and everybody would be making money on their own. There'll be no need for you to come to a government for something free. Naturally, there are extreme cases.
There'll be cases and people who will
There
have
are,
reasonable help, in the system, yes. And
right.
we are not saying no. But that will be done not through government, not through politicians, no, through the government
No,
services where the professionals take care of that. Our politicians would not be involved in those things, and they certainly would not be involved.
not saying that our politician doesn't care about the people, but you're taking it away from the hands of the politicians
Oh yeah,
where
man. Our
you have
politicians, the TV politicians would never do that.
undue influence in the whole process, and
Yeah,
allow the professionals who are paid to do that to handle that.
that's how it should be. And that's what we would do. And the other thing, why we think it is necessary to have people borrow their own money and spend money in the economy, because that's how the economy is going to get better. If you just, as government, just give, the economy is dead. It's stagnant because you're just giving people. People are not using the systems to make money, to pay their own bills, and to get more money. So the banks, sometimes I wonder whether the bank managers are independent in and of themselves. Why can't they say that they are suffering? The credit union and so have to be charging interest on every check that you bounce those days, or money that you don't have, because they're trying to make money, because they're not making enough money. People are not taking loans, and people cannot afford to pay loans because they're not making money, so they cannot give loans to them.
But they
So,
wouldn't say that publicly, though.
but why can't they say that? And they know that they are economists, like they're better than you and I. That's what they do for a living. They know that the economy is in constraints because the government, or the so-called government, is program is hurting the economy. So we would create opportunities for you to borrow money. We would give you the support, the security. You pay the money. If you're not paid, it will fix you up. But as long as you pay, if you are making $10 a week and it's 10 cents you can pay, that's what you will pay. But you have to pay something, because nothing in life is free. So when you pay something to the bank make a little money, a little interest, and everybody's okay. But right now, the way it's being done now, the banks are not making money in Dominica. Carlos, why do you think all the banks are going?
But if you're not making money in a market, naturally you will not stay there. You know.
Carlos, how many banks do we have operating in Dominica now?
Banks right now, two.
Exactly.
How
How
many
many,
foreign how many foreign banks? One.
how many banks operating in Antigua, Barbados, Trinidad? Several.
Several.
One we have in Dominica, in a whole country. Why? Because the government policies are not causing the banks to make money. So National Bank cannot go, so they will not go. Go to our National Bank and Credit Union. But what else do we have? So we're not criticizing, we're just saying our programs based on the economic revival and our housing initiatives would cause people to make a little, pay a little, that money revolve in the economy, and the health of the economy is better. Clear so far, Carlos? Are we clear? Are we?
Yes, we good on that. I'm just hoping that our people, as they view the program, understand where we're coming from and the vision behind the plans.
Yeah.
The next item on the agenda is the agribusiness and tourism for nature's agrotherapy. I know
Boy.
that is a thing that is close to you, and it ties in to what we were just talking about.
Boy, I'm telling you, man. Carlos, agribusiness tied to tourism. In fact, I think our ministry, one of our government ministry, has agriculture and tourism, isn't it?
Yes,
Can you quickly go to the page that shows our ministry? Go, we said we would have had 12, 11 ministries.
11 ministries.
But agriculture and tourism is one of our ministries. Carlos, can you see it? Did you find it? I know you have 4 eyes. Look. You read the ministry. So that's our 11 ministries here, guys. Read the one that deals with agriculture. I'm almost sure that we had agriculture and tourism together.
No, agriculture, we have it separated. But
So agriculture and what?
agriculture would come under the Ministry of Youth, Housing,
Oh, Oh,
economy,
yes.
health, wellness, culture, and agriculture.
That's what I was thinking of.
That was
Youth
the
and culture. Yes.
that was
Okay.
that was the first item on our list of ministries.
What call it first ministry again? Youth.
Youth participation, housing, the economy, health, wellness, culture, and agriculture.
But I just told you agriculture is under the same thing, Carlos. You tell me no.
You were saying tourism.
Oh, and what tourism falls under?
Tourism would fall under trade, industry, and commerce, governance, public workers, unions, and social justice.
Okay, okay, okay. You see? All right. Okay, I get it now. So agriculture and youth and the economy is under one, right?
Right.
Okay. So that is the one. Okay, cool. And tourism is under the second one. All right. Got you. Carlos.
But I think the idea behind that was to get our youth to be more engaged in our agricultural business because
That's how,
because like everything else, the business has to have a continuity.
yeah.
So if we have to leave and depend on the persons who are currently in the business, it will die when they die. We have to get others to come in and put their youthful energy in the business, the new ideas. There are new, for example, poultry. There are so many new ideas, new technologies that are available globally, and persons of my age and younger, we are internet children. We see those things.
Yeah.
We in the TikTok age now. A lot of those things are on those platforms, and persons of not nothing against you, Alex, but you full in mind, but you're older than me, and people like myself would be more in tune to those things. So to be a way of getting those kind of people to come into those sectors
Yeah.
and and help to kickstart the national economy. If everybody's pulling in that direction, huh. Alex, you know how many millions of dollars that is spent in chicken imports
Importation.
every month?
You get the
If we
statistics and put it out there. We can cut that by half
if we
because we
if
have water, we have
I'm not
land.
I'm not even talking about the water yet.
No,
We're
to
talking about
create the poultry that we need here for
yes,
ourselves
yes.
and to export as well. Can you imagine fresh chicken being produced in Dominica, Guadeloupe, and Martinique right next door? We don't even have to ship anywhere else but Martinique and Guadeloupe. Fresh, organically grown chicken from Dominica.
I would credit the government of Venezuela for his the deceased Hugo Chavez for giving us the abattoir on the request of our government. So that was a good idea. But the implementation and the use of the abattoir, just about last week, Wednesday, I passed there. Alex, it's a struggle to pass in that road, and
But
that place looks like an abandoned place.
all of that, we would have a highway almost going to the abattoir area, and we would have steady supply, and export. First of all, would supply the entire local market with top of the line produce meat, and export as well, because foreign export, foreign trade is important. Foreign exchange helps your economy. If you cannot export stuff, the economy is not expanding. So that is our Carlos. It doesn't take much. As long as you care about the people, you will do those things. But I don't think our government, as I said in my program earlier, I don't think they are in tune and they are in touch. I heard a minister of government said, Carlos, the other day that Dominica doesn't have natural resources to export with.
And every day we have water flowing in the sea.
Sweetening the sea.
Every day.
Sweetening the sea. Fresh, natural spring
Natural
water.
water. But we're importing water from countries that don't have natural water.
When I
And
heard the
our,
man say
and
that,
our
I say,
government is there saying, lamenting on that, but we're not doing anything to empower the persons. I mean, there's a factory in Kinfield that belonged to a former politician, and it's abandoned there.
Carlos, these people are sadly out of touch. They have become immune to the people's cry and their pain, and they think giving the people a little piece of bread is enough. Putting a band-aid on their bruise is enough. No, people need to heal. They need to make money. You talk about young people getting into agriculture and making money. Kasa, the people who made money in Dominica to take care of their children were young when they were making money, plenty money.
Are
And,
you
then,
aware
and there
that
was nothing wrong in making plenty money.
we have water imported from Antigua?
I didn't want to, Carlos, I didn't want to get into the conversation because I myself, if Antigua see a business to make money on us, the land of water, well, so be it. This,
And the normal person in Antigua doesn't have water. They're collecting water on their roof.
it is not an indictment against Antigua. It's one for against our government.
Our government.
And what we would do had we been in office, we would create relationship with Antigua where we give them water, they give us certain things. So there would be no need to import water from Antigua. Or if they do, people can still, if they're free, because the CARICOM, they can do whatever.
Yeah, we have the free market, yes.
But
it is on the onus is on our government or people in the position to push our products.
Would provide the opportunity for our water to land in Antigua. And if our water land in Antigua, if there's land in Dominica, ours can land by them as well. And when
I've had a water at Libya, and it doesn't compare to, well, the Kubuli we had before.
Well, we're not even comparing. And one of our plans is to bring back a Dominica brewery, a local brewery, either in the hands of import and people who are interested, public and private, foreign or local. So if Josephine Gabriel and company would like to get involved, the government of Community Dominica would make the environment enabling for them to invest in a state-of-the-art brewery and have our local beers brewery in Dominica. I do not know what arrangement they have with Heineken, but we would find out. And if they cannot do it, get somebody else private to do it. We need a national brew. We need a local brew. We can't have our beer being brewed in another country. It doesn't make sense. That's what we would do. And we're still on agriculture, eh, partner? We're still talking about manufacturing.
That's part of agriculture. That's part of industry
and commerce. So these are the things we would do. And that's in our manifesto. We promise this. If we had contested, boy, I don't know, Carlos, if we had a full slate, we had, everything in place, boy, and we had sold that to the people, you never know what could have happened. But that is our plan on paper. And that's what we will do when we win, because that is fresh. Because the government now is not doing any of that. Carlos, maybe I have time to do one more topic because we have so much to discuss, but it's 1 hour we have. So what else do we have there?
The establish and build the Kalinago Agricultural University and Heritage Complex. So again, more agriculture.
Yeah.
But with more emphasis on our Kalinago brothers and sisters.
We are talking about helping our brothers and sisters, our indigenous Dominicans. Help them. Don't give them handout. Don't come and try to outsmart them to vote for you and put one against the other. We will certainly protect our tribe. That's our tribe, our very proud Dominican tribe of indigenous Dominicans. And we'll give them a full-fledged international Université d'Agricole, an agriculture university, which will also do with the art and craft. So we'd have Kalinagos working within the university, teaching art and craft, creating products and selling, not just tourists coming and take pictures of them and go and come back. You create craft, you come to the university, you get taught, we pay our Kalinagos money. People who want to study agriculture come into Dominica, study agriculture in the Kalinago territory, and everything else that is going to be developed in the Kalinago territory, including reliable water, sustainable internet, not just internet, high-speed internet that is not failing our Kalinago people, readily supply of energy, ready supply of electrical energy, infrastructure development, including a hospital, not a health center, a hospital, with special emphasis on gerontology and care for indigenous people. We would do all of that as part of the university to create business in the territory. And the police would not be staying in a little house, would create a wonderful station for them to be living. So we create, we enhance the Kalinago territory. It doesn't take a lot of money to do that, just a vision. And there are funds that can be sourced for sustainable use of development programs in a territory of indigenous peoples. We will get a lot of money to do that. But instead, we are huffing the little money that the Kalinagos get and saying we use it to give them houses. What kind of housing? Yes, I think something's going up now. Oh, we're not just going to build a few houses. We're going to recreate the territory on its own terms by putting infrastructure in place so that the Kalinagos could work instead of some of them, the brothers who have nothing much to do, maybe go by the shop and maybe drink one, two too much. Instead of that, they'll go to work and they'll be happy to do their little work and bring money for their families. So our work with that,
we waiting for election time to give them to dirty their mouth.
Right. So our job would be to create that environment for them for 24 hours around the clock, not just election time. And we know that election time they would vote for progress the next time around, not just the way it is being done these days. I mean, it's so sad how these people treat our Kalinagos, man. I mean, sometimes I want to cry. But as a team, when we get into office, and we believe we will get there one day, hopefully sooner rather than later, that's what we want to do to enhance the life of our Kalinago brothers and sisters. Our first people cannot be the people who are most economically challenged in Dominica. No, it's wrong. You have mansions that you're living in, and you're giving all the Kalinago people to buy for house and say you're giving them housing. You have mansions. No, man, we can't treat our people that way. So in TUD, that's what we will do as part of our plan to revamp the economy for Carlos. And boy, we have no time now. Oh, we're going to.
Yeah, we only have 8 more minutes. And I see we have a couple comments there that we.
Well, let's take the comments, Carlos, and let's wrap up. We'll continue discussing the economy, the economic revamp next week. So, Carlos, there's something on Reddit now. You have eyes.
Our sister Christine Juppy, while we are on agriculture, imagine places like Barbados buying fruits from us, then selling the pine hill juice back to us.
Yeah, well, that is a good point. Christine is a smart, very, very smart. She's a very interesting person. Very, very interesting person. Nothing wrong, no issues with Pine Hill and Barbados. We like what you're doing, but we would do our own version of our juice as well. We would not call it Pine Hill, though. We would call it, because we had that, in Dominica, We had Elrose and Company, we had Bello, and so on. So we would create a national.
I remember factories. Boy, Bello, huh.
Bello was kicking. Bello had a lot of products, on different lines of things, and these people in government just allow that to just fall flat. Just fall flat. No, man. No.
We need to re-emphasize. Get exports going. Products goes out, money comes back into the country.
That's how it works.
You import chicken, that means money leaving the country. When you have an abattoir sit down in Lion there, getting rusty, and the chicken farmers getting frustrated because the feed is too expensive, the duty is too high on the produce.
So
by the time it gets to the end user, it's too expensive for them to buy it.
We will produce feed in Dominica, my brother. We have water, we have raw material, natural products. We would create food, have a factory that makes food for our feeding needs, all local foods, and to sell as well to other countries. We would do that. What is wrong in creating a business to develop poultry food? I mean, food for poultry farms. How difficult can that be in a land where you have water and land to set up industry to do that? Maybe our government not thinking about this, but these are the things that we are thinking about. All right,
Christine is also saying that our people are the problem. We continue to settle for the handouts. And she's suggesting that TUD will create an environment which will allow the avenue for us to make our own money.
But that is exactly what we are saying, Chris. Thank you for echoing that. The people who are dealing with the handouts, Chris, are really those who really have no choice, and those who just are spoiled to depend on it. We have to kind of win them from it. It's like a baby, right? I think Christine she's into healthcare. She's a nurse. She's a high qualified nurse. So Chris, you have a baby, right? I know you have a daughter, right? So your daughter is breastfed. Your daughter doesn't want to leave that breast, but you eventually have to wean her from it. So you have to find a technique to wean her, maybe pump and leave there in the fridge. So who's helping you can feed her when you're gone, but you don't want her to latch on the breast, because whenever they latch on that breast, they're in heaven. But they cannot continue being breastfed all day. I mean, as a nurse, you have to feed them as regularly and long as possible. But after a while, you have to wean them so that they now could breastfeed somebody tomorrow. So in the situation of the mendicancy, is the people in government, because they feed you, they nurture you, they want to continue nurturing you. So when they stay in power and they get older and they die, they spoil people who are depending on people. And that's how our country gets messed up. So we say at Community Dominica, we will feed, we will nourish our people, but our job is not to give them all the time, is to win them out of it. So the problem in our politics is those who want to get in office do not have the fine motor skills to win people from it. Instead, they curse them and call them names. So we don't blame Dominicans who have been dependent, too much. Well, some of them are aviage. Some of them have, and they know better, and they still take in. But a lot of people who just cannot do better are the ones who are relying on government. And I can't blame them, because if I was ever in a situation, Chris, where I could not feed my family, I'm telling you, la vérité, I would be falling. And I would not expect people to make me feel bad, because a man will do anything desperate, thing called for desperate measures. I, Alex Bruno, would go to the government for money if I could not feed my children, if that's where the money is. And I think on many occasions, Chris, although your point is taken, and I 100% support you, but I think we are too hard on those who cannot do better, when we should try to win them. As I said, with the analogy to you, sorry if I got personal, I didn't mean to, but you have to win your daughter from that breast, man. The breast is nice, but look, you have to grow, you have to win yourself, and then you have to now create no more, so you can breastfeed your child in the future. So that's where we are in Community Dominica, to win ourselves from the dependency. Alice, you put in more comments by somebody came up, somebody said something else. Winston says, start now. The private sector is the least active in the Caribbean. I think that's what he wanted to write. Well, we have started. I'm Winston. We've started speaking to people in the private sector. In fact, we have had a series of meetings with some people already, and our plan is to continue meeting people. By the time we get into government, we would have had a very active private sector that would have informed us as to what it is that will be best for them and their growth, and we'll implement the private sector's plan for development in Dominica. So yes, Winston, we have been having meetings with the people in the private sector. One called me back just the other day and said, I was told you came to see me. I said, no, we're going around meeting with people in the private sector as our team. He said, I applaud you, Alex. I mean, that's the first of such meetings in a long time, and I'll be very happy to meet with you guys when you're ready. So yes, Winston, we're doing that. And yes, Carlos, we have done that. Our gone, let's not go beyond our time. We'll continue discussing our plans next week. We invite everyone who had been on to join us and to tell somebody about it and to share this program, and let's have a conversation. That, I think, is a more progressive engagement we can have in Dominica today, to show people what we can do for them. We may think they're not hearing, but they're hearing. And eventually they might say, okay, we have something, let's work with that. But until such time, I think only belly aching that some of the politicians do is not progressive enough. So TUD is here. not to destroy any party, but to tell us that we can speak together with one voice, not with one party, one voice. Keep your party, but let's talk about what we can do together to change the fortunes of our people going forward. So the last word is yours, Mr. Carlos.
Yes, so folks, thank you for viewing our program. This is just the first one in a series that will be talking more about our plans for Dominica, and in the little engagements that we were doing in coming up to the election and even after, I used to emphasize the plan, the plan, the plan. Show the plan. What it is that you want to do for Dominicans. Dominicans need to asking, yes, yes, you come in there, but what you going to do for us? Everybody wants to know what you going to do for me now. Okay, you come in there as a politician. You're just going to eat our money. You're going to get fat like the rest of them. No, the plan is you employ a politician to work for you. You want us to work for you? This is what we want to do. The TUD manifesto is our book, our plan for what we want to do for Dominica. Obviously, with the next general election, we may modify it, or we may choose to. It may be relevant still, but as for now and what is currently relevant, we believe that the information produced in here is currently relevant to Dominica. So thank you for viewing our program, and if those who view live and those who watch the playback, and look forward to engaging with you. Those who commented, thank you for commenting, and look forward to engaging with you at the next appointed time. Alex, thanks for being with me as a soldier as usual. Let's plan for our future programs. And if you want to become a member of Team Unity, don't be afraid to reach out to us. TUD is all engaging. Have a good afternoon.